Hi there, and welcome to Hendricks County Cooks, a production of the Plainfield-Guilford Township Public Library. I'm Nick, and this is David.
Yes, hi.
And we're here, we're going to show you how to cook something today. David was talking to me about his Valentine's Day plans.
Holy cow.
And he realized that he would like to cook something at home for Valentine's Day. He didn't know what to cook though.
No idea.
So I suggested that I would teach him a recipe for polenta with red sauce and Italian sausage. This is a recipe that I learned how to cook from my Uncle Zac, and this is one of the first recipes he taught me. So it's something that I know almost off the top of my head. So let's get started, and hopefully David will be able to cook it with his eyes closed too really soon. We're going to start off by getting some of the ingredients for our red sauce ready to go. On my cutting board here, I've got 5 cloves of garlic, and that's what's going to go into our sauce. The recipe that's been posted calls for 3, but because of the size of the cloves that I've got here, I decided 5 was probably what we would do. David, have you ever chopped garlic?
No.
It's real simple and real fun.
Right.
I'm going to start with this guy here. I'm going to place my knife above him. There you go. And you just pick the peel off from around it.
Gotcha.
And this one got pretty well pulverized, to tell you the truth. So we might be in good shape when it comes to the knife work. Once you've got the peel picked off, just chop it up a little bit.
Perfect.
And there you are. All right.
Very nice.
How about you give it a try?
Alrighty. So you said you do this, you take this, and you do...
Yep. Oh, there it is.
There we go, yeah. Alright, let's just cut it out.
Well, don't forget to take the peel off of it.
Where are we at? Is it this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So next we're going to chop the onion. This recipe calls for 1 medium onion. I've got it right here, and I've already halved it and peeled it. So the way that I like to chop an onion is to leave the root end intact. That keeps it together and allows you to make multiple cuts on the onion without it all being separated already. So I'm going to use the butt end of my knife here and start chopping through the onion laterally. Then I'm going to turn it around and chop vertically. And when it gets to a point where you have any amount of fear for your fingers, don't be afraid to turn it over. So here, I've got my saucepan started with or skillet, whatever you prefer to call it. I've got a 1/4 cup of olive oil in there to get started. That might seem a little much for a sauce, but because I'm going to be infusing it with garlic and red pepper, once you've added the tomatoes, that flavorful oil is going to spread throughout the sauce and be a little bit more substantial. So it's going over medium heat. It's about there. I am going to add the onion first and get that all started. Where we are right now is we are sauteing the onion in the olive oil until it's a little translucent, and we're basically there. So now we're going to add the other ingredients for the base of the sauce. I'm going to knock our garlic in there. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt. So the salt will enhance the flavor and also bring out the water and make things cook a little better. And finally, I'm going to add some red pepper to taste. As I said earlier, the red pepper and the garlic in there is going to make the oil taste like red pepper and garlic. And once we've added the tomato, that'll be really nice. So we're going to let that cook down a little bit Be careful once you've added the garlic because you don't want it to start to brown. You want it to cook just enough to be flavorful. And can you smell that, David?
Oh my goodness, it smells like a kitchen in here. By the way, we are in the kitchen, the staff lounge here at the Plainfield Library.
To reach a really good temperature. So we're going to add the tomatoes into the sauce now. We're just using 1 can of 28-ounce tomatoes. I like to cook fresh when I can, but to be honest, a lot of the time, canned tomatoes, depending on the season and availability, are going to be better than some of the fresh tomatoes that you'll buy in the supermarket. So let's stir in so that your base of onions and aromatics and red pepper and oil combines with the tomato. While we've been working on the sauce, I've had a pot that I've been bringing to boil of 2 parts water and 2 parts whole milk. Polenta is a corn porridge. I've got a bag of it right here. It's made from cornmeal. You can buy grits, polenta. It's basically the same thing. It's meant to be a little savory, so you'll see all the different aspects of it that we add. And it's made from 1 part polenta to 4 parts liquid. Like I said, I'm using half water and half milk, and I've got that at a good temperature where I'm about ready to add the polenta. So I'm going to want to stir that in. I'm going to whisk it in with a real quickly here, adding it gradually and little by little, and stirring to avoid clumping. Nobody likes lumpy polenta. And this is probably the most strenuous part of the recipe because I'm going to want to stir it in for a while. Make sure that it's all pretty well incorporated with your liquid. And that could take a couple of minutes. So now we're going to get started on the third component of the meal, which is Italian sausage. Due to weather and environment, we're going to make it in the oven. However, I prefer to make it on the grill if at all possible. So, we're going to start by getting our baking sheet here lined with parchment paper. This is going to make cleanup much easier. And then, we're just going to place the sausage on our parchment paper. Let's do the whole bunch.
All right, here we go.
This is just a pound of mild sausage. And there you are. And now, we're going to get it started. So I'm going to put it in the oven here. Now that the sausage is in the oven, the sauce is on the stove, and the polenta is cooking, the bulk of what you're going to be doing now is maintenance. You'll stir the sauce a little bit to make sure that it's still going all right. And about every 5 minutes, you're going to want to whisk the polenta a little bit more. Like I said, we're avoiding clumping, and it is prone to clumping. We're going to work on preparing one of the final ingredients for the sauce right now, which is lemon zest. It adds a great lemony flavor that counteracts the spiciness of the red pepper flakes. So to zest a lemon, I've got a plain here and a lemon. I'm just gonna run it over. The zest is the yellow part of the peel. So once you've reached the pith, the white part, you're gonna wanna stop grating it for a while and move on to another part of the lemon. And it'll start to look like that. So I'm going to add some more ingredients to our sauce now because it's been simmering and it's coming together pretty well. I'm going to add the lemon zest that we all created here, and I'm going to stir that in first. And I'm going to add a little bit of red wine vinegar. This will help spice up the tomatoes, and it goes really well. Just enough that it'll give it some flavor, not enough that it'll water down the sauce. You smell that, David?
Oh my goodness, it smells good.
And we'll let it sit for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, David, you can stop whisking so we can take a look. Our polenta's starting to come together. You see how it's starting to turn the yellow of the cornmeal, and it's also starting to take on some, I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit more as it's bubbling there. It's also starting to take on a little bit more of the texture that we're going to want, which is thick. Some semblance of the texture that we want for the polenta. So now we're going to add the dairy products that are really going to knock it up, bump it up a notch. I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of butter and 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to whisk that in there until it's been combined and melted. Or until I dump it all out on the stove top. So I'm going to take a look at what our sausages are right now. As you can see, they've been cooking for a little bit, and I've got my thermometer here, and I'm going to see where they are. Remember, 160 is our magic number. And we're there. So we've got the sausage all sliced up. The sauce is about ready to go, as is our polenta. So we're going to get everything on a plate. We're going to plate the polenta first here. Going to give it about a couple of ladles. As you can see, it's still a little runny. It's not quite set. Sometimes polenta can set and you can eat it like it's cake. But this is still in kind of a porridge situation. I'm gonna get this spoon, get our sauce. A little dollop of sauce, make it look like it's an eyeball. We're going to take the sausage and place it on top. There you have it, folks. Polenta with red sauce and Italian sausage. Can you remember all that for next month, David?
Yeah, sure.
Tell us what we're doing.
I'm not telling what I'm doing. This is a goof up.
Well, what happened?
So what happened is I took the temperature and it looked good, but I cut into it and it didn't. So I'll stop at you.
I'm Dave, the tie guy. I've been collecting ties for over 15 years. You know me. You've seen me in different ties. Come by. You'll see me wearing another tie. In these uncertain times, we need something to laugh at. I got some cool ones. Stop on by.